they're just finishing their warm-up routine right here. I didn't mention what ZHANG and Wei, there they are. They mentioned what they have achieved. They were the Open winners in Indonesia this year. They were the quarter-finalists in Thailand and also runners-up in China. They were semi-finalists in the Yonex All England just earlier. There's Wei Yili, and she is the taller of the pairs. They're coming now to this side. We keep mentioning, Charmaine, the drift here. Has it changed at all, do you think, since yesterday?
No, I think now behind Zhang and Jun, the wind will come towards us again, so a little bit still of a drift towards us and a little bit to the left of the screen. So you'll see maybe a few more shots hitting out the back towards the pink and then to the left.
Right, so we've been called to court, and ZHANG Yawen will serve, 22-year-old, and she will be serving from the position back to camera, backhand serve, Lovell, first game. If you haven't watched much badminton of late, you will probably notice that the service does change every point, that there is a point scored on every point. Every rally ends in a point. So the world ranked number 2 pair started out pretty well, 2-love. That was well out, and the left-handed Wei Yili read it very well there. So they pick up their first point of the match. And now they level it at 2s. Difficult when you've got 4 players that know each other's game so well, Charmaine.
Yes, they train with each other every day, probably 3 times a day, 2-3 times a day China will play. But I think the team in black, Yan and Jun, a little bit stronger, won last year World Championships and are the gold medalist at the Olympic Games. They've been playing together a bit longer, and I would say stronger of the 2 teams.
Some good interplay at the moment, lovely rally. Ends up a little bit strong there from Yang to finish it. And it's 3-all. What about the lefty-righty thing? There's Yili is left-handed. Is that an advantage?
I think so. In each game, I think you get 1 or 2 quick points. Usually you play righty-righty. So you do a little bit different shots, and then all of a sudden, oops, wrong person, you're into their forehand on the left shot.
So suddenly ZHANG and Wei leap into a 2-point lead. That's a great pick-up. Yili, but that's a little wide. Unlucky that. Yili, some great defense.
Yes, absolutely. That's a side that you have to be careful lifting to. It goes wide. There's a little bit drift to that side, so they just have to bring it in a little bit more. And there you have it. Another time.
Beautifully said. Well judged, and that's exactly what happened. 5-all. And that was long as well, so still ZHANG and Wei will be in the lead by 1. Let's have a look at this overview camera here, and that's just a little bit long. Not too much out. You can see at 6-5, that red triangle on the top of your screen, the top left corner. It signifies that ZHANG and Wei have the service. But now things will move down. You see, the triangle moved, the service moves, it's all squared up at 6s. Awkward angle there for Yili. She couldn't quite get it to shoulder height. Both teams will be holding the rackets really high at the net, trying to threaten. Being got a little bit anxious there.
Good net play. I think both teams want to gain control of the net just with a little bit of the drift. They want to get the attack sooner than later. So they'll be fighting for the net.
It's over.
Did it go? I think it did, yes. Well, you win some, lose some, but I think on balance, you can do that every time. You're very lucky because it really rattled the net there, but came onto the opponent's side. So ZHANG Wei have now leveled it up once again with that smash.
Great rally.
It was a good hit there by ZHANG Yawen to finish it off, but it was a super rally. There was a lot of good touches, searching for some vulnerable points. They weren't there. Then finished off nicely with the smash at 196. 196 kilometers an hour. Well, that was out. It's interesting, you know, the badminton, the IBF have put a lot of initiatives in order to try and keep this game moving in the wider world, and one of them is the fact that you can be the manager of a fantasy game of badminton. Is really quite an interesting and intriguing thing. I think it's quite fashionable now. There's all kinds of things: soccer, fantasy, cricket, fantasy, and so on. Now you can be a fantasy manager. I'll give you the address on the website to log into that if you're interested in this particular initiative by the IBF. It really is a lot of fun, and I know that some of the professional players do that as well. So let's have a look at the score then. At 11-10 at the halfway stage, Yang and Zhang have managed to do the honours, and it's 11-10, not 10-all there, as you can see on our score. It's 11-10 to Zhang and Yang. Let's have a look at the replay here. And if you've got a pen handy, please take it out now, get a piece of paper, because we're going to show you the website address for that fantasy project that I talked to you about. There it is, www.badmintonmanager.net. There's lots of prizes there, and you can see a budget of 175,000. Don't get too excited, it's only the budget that you're allowed. Every entry will be allowed that. And there's all kinds of not just prizes but benefits all round, because it will go back to the grassroots level with lots of initiatives from the IBF as well. I hope you can to join in with all the fun of the Badminton Manager, the fantasy game initiative by the IBF. Let's get back to the match now. It's 11-all. It's all squared up, which you'd expect against these very, very talented Chinese women. It's China versus China. We are in the semi-final stage. And a big hit at the net there from ZHANG Jiewen. She now takes the lead and the service.
Very good attack by Jun and Young. I think they keep going cross court on the smash and then coming across the body to open it up.
It's over. 12-all.
13-12, so it's really nip and tuck here. Both the Chinese pairs are doing particularly well. I think, in fact, the interesting thing in the head-to-heads, Zhang and Wei are in the lead, I believe, by 2-1. Is that right?
It is. They beat them at the Indonesian Open and the China Masters this year. And back at the German Open, Wang and Yang won head-to-head.
And just in case you're wondering, there are no coaches out on show. We're not giving them any kind of back seat here. It's because there are two Chinese teams, and the doubles coach is Tian Bin, and obviously he doesn't want to be seen to be favoring one or the other. So there's no coaches here. They're surviving on their own here in this semi-final stage of the women's doubles. It's the only semi-finals we've got today. All the rest are quarters.
And in fact, the winner here will go into the finals tomorrow.
Indeed. Ooh, a little lucky there from ZHANG Yawen.
It's over. 15-13.
It's really quite difficult, you know. Not only are the names, getting our tongues around the names there, but ZHANG Jiewen and ZHANG Yawen are playing on opposite sides of the net. Out of court, so it's now back to 14-15.
14-15.
Great smash, just can't take the speed. 208 kilometers an hour.
Oh, that's well left. She was very, very tempted to go for that.
16,
another big hit, but Wei Yili just felt that it was long, and that's great judgment. Perfect judgment. 16-14. Again, and some loose play here from Yang and Zhang, the number twos in the world. And with a consequence, they drop back by 3.
You notice Wei gives a sign about how she's going to serve to her partner behind her back.
Let's see if we can spot that again. Another mistake.
18.
You can't afford to keep playing out of court. 4 points behind now. Yili with the service and the advantage, 18-14. Unforcing the errors once again. Some good play there from Yawen. Much more petite, smaller, but very, very fast at the net. So that's a lovely touch. Oh, what a good piece of play. She shaped up to really threaten the big smash.
14.
And it didn't come, it was a drop shot. So here we go with a game point then, this first game of this women's doubles semi-final. Big clear. And again, a very confident, beautiful play, yes, and at the net it was Yawen that's made the difference, and in fact won the game for her team. And the team in pink, ZHANG Yawen, the smaller of the pairs. Wei Yili take this opening game then by 21 points to 14. It was an even Stevens battle except for the last few, and Yang and ZHANG take the first 2-1. Net winners is Wei and ZHANG, and that is particularly Wei. Clear winners none.
Level.
So we're back with second game. Changed ends. And it's ZHANG who had the serve. Let's see if we can pick up those signals then that you mentioned, Charmaine. Just what do we look for the signals?
I think when Wei's serving, if she has 5 fingers down, it means to the middle, short to the middle.
Okay. Not uncommon in any kind of team game to get some signals, whether they're verbal or...
It just helps your partner to know if you're going to flick it or serve long, serve short. Gives them a little bit of an advantage.
Well, we're going to have to look very carefully because we couldn't see anything there, but they're 2-love up, having won the first. Free love. Looking very solid.
It's over.
Yili, for the first time, makes an error at the net. She's used to playing behind her shorter opponent, partner, of course. Again, it was 208 kilometers an hour right there. In fact, 201, I've just seen it change now, so not that fast, but good placement right into the body. And again, excellent. Yili was just waiting for that. Smashed it to ground at 5-1.
Yawen WEI is doing well at the net. Normally she is a backcourt player, and her partner is more of a mixed player, so she likes to, likes to play the net more often.
1.
Well, that partnership is working well at the minute. 6-1, and they're obviously doing exactly what they'd planned. It's very difficult, as we said earlier, when you're playing against your compatriots that you know their game inside out. This young lady has got to actually get some things together here. Yawen WEI. And well left again, this time by Yawen.
Over. 7-2.
Obviously the nations taking part here, supported by various associations and so on, but it'll be an interesting one for the World Championships. Is it possible? That's a fantastic. I'll just interrupt what I'm saying. I'm going to ask here, but that was just an amazing shot of the net, and even a thumbs up there from Yili. But the point I'm making at the minute, Charmaine, is can two nations get together at the Worlds?
Yes, they can at the Worlds, but it will take a spot from each country. So if a Dane plays with a Swedish player, it takes a spot of the Danish team and the Swedish team, and you're only allowed maximum 4 per country. So therefore, if you already have 4, you cannot do it. But absolutely, you can here at the World Championships.
Okay. But obviously, the team event, you wouldn't do that. That would be impossible. So that's interesting.
In fact, Thomas Lund from Denmark played with a Swedish girl, and they were world champions at one point.
Split loyalties then for the crowd. Or maybe, no, you get double the support. Well, there you go. A quirky part of the match, the game. You get it in tennis though, don't you? You get different nationalities playing in open championships.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
But then for the Olympics, you have to play for your own country.
Sure. 2 national anthems at one time. It's not easy on the ear. Right, let's get back to the match then, and it is progressing well. We're almost to halfway in the second game. It's 9-5 to ZHANG Yawen WEI, who won the first by 21-14. Semi-final stage. They're moving much better. They just have that air of confidence. And that's a big smash from the smallest girl on the court, Yawen. 228 kilometers an hour there. Beautiful net play. Oh, that was stunning. I think that's actually the best piece of play we've seen Yawen. She's actually smashed some good ones, but I can tell you what, that was absolutely brilliant. 11-5 they lead, and they are really on top of their game. They've come out all guns blazing, and I think, to be quite honest, at world rank 9, that probably it really doesn't give them due credit. I mean, that is just super. Enjoyed that one.
Absolutely. They are a new team, so I think that's why their ranking is still developing to get higher. They're one of the top 4 teams by far in the world.
I would have thought so.
I would say.
Certainly have thought that. The service judge, Chen Qijian of Chinese Taipei, hands out a new shuttle. So here we go with 11-5, and in service is Yawen. They interchange so well.
She got caught with her racket on her forehand. A lot of the times in defense you want it right in the middle, but it was on her forehand.
It was Chang to Chang there. Zhang Jiewen for the first time. We've seen some aggression. 6-11. That's long. That's well judged
7
by Yang Wei. 7-11.
It's over.
12-7.
So whoever's controlling the net, I think, is winning the points right about now.
Surprising to see her come forward. This is Wei Yili with the serve, and she's happy to stay there at the net.
And I think they're very happy they don't have the same service judge as yesterday. They had about 9 faults in that one game against Malaysia. So
12.
I'm just trying to remember the name. It's the Irish judge, isn't it? Service judge. Wrestling, I think. Well, still, every other point, there is a problem for Yang and Zhang. It's 13-8 at the moment, disappointment, and there really is, there's a sort of resignation about their body language, isn't there? They are not on top of it. The team in pink are looking pretty good, although that was a better net play.
It's over. 9.
No punching and celebrating though, is there? 9-13.
I think they realize if they're going to win, they have to make a move right about now. They can't let Zhang and Wei get any more points, or it'll be too late.
Anticipation, everything.
Great cut off.
It was.
Covered the round the head drive very well. She almost knew it was coming.
Play.
The change of shuttle. Well, we always have some moments when we talk about the shuttle. We'll leave it for a while, shall we? But they haven't changed them too many times during this match. Thousands used during a championship, of course. She did well to get to the net. I think it went over, didn't it? 11-13. Good anticipation there. So we have now a slight change of action. And suddenly Zhang and Wei find a good position at the net and lead by 3. Watch the left-hander in front there. Good positioning. I really am quite surprised that they have done this, that Yili has taken up that position. Because she's such a dominant person in terms of her size, I think it must be intimidating. But it's certainly something, it's working. Whatever they've done is working.
She is definitely covering the net well today.
Once again, she's a bit quick.
16-11.
16-11, and this is looking ominous now for Yang and Zhang. They've really got to try to battle back into this. They lost the opening game. 12-16.
It's over. 12-16.
Well, it's still anybody's match at the moment. It's we've been extolling the virtues of the team in pink there, ZHANG Wei. Well, that's why.
It's over.
Super shot for 17-13. Now, I think we've just had a little message through that this is actually a medal match in itself. Just tell us about that.
It is. Well, if you win, you're going to go for gold tomorrow. And if you lose, you take home the bronze. So right now it's very important.
There's no playoff for the bronze then?
No, there is not.
Okay. Two bronze medals then on offer. And the other bronze will be taken by the winners of between Gao Ling and Huang Shui, partnering Huang Shui and Du Jing and Yu Yang. So all Chinese semi-finals, so therefore all the medals, including the bronzes, the two bronzes, will be China's in this World Championship. And no one expected any differently, I think.
Play, please.
The Chinese women's doubles, they're so dominant right now. They're so powerful. Great defense, great attack. It's super hard to beat them.
15-17, they are battling. It's not all done and dusted yet. Lots of bandages we can see over the ZHANG Jiewen has got bandages all over her legs, knees, and then skin-coloured, flesh-coloured bandages on the calves as well. 210k for that one. That's a big hit.
And a great net kill. She wasn't going to let that go by her.
Dominating at the net, isn't she? 19-15, just 2 points away from going through to battle for silver and gold.
Zhang sets it up very nicely. Patient at the back for the net kill.
I tell you what, that's going to be a really big game too, a big match. Tomorrow I think we're playing the women's doubles first, aren't we? That was long, so it's not done yet. But Gao Ling and Huang Shui have had it their own way for so long. These are the up-and-coming pairs, the Chinese duo in pink. Wow. Touched the net, went over. So it's now, it's match point, 20 points to 16. Well, not done yet, 2017.
17.
Oh, this will be a big feather in their cap because the number 2 seeds in this tournament and number 2 ranking in the world, Yang and ZHANG, really, although they've worked hard, they haven't really been into it. Much more busy is the pair and the pink tops, and look at that covering at the net. Oh, what a fantastic shot that was. Wow. ZHANG Jiewen. I can't believe she managed to get that. There were 2 in a row that crossed the net. It's such unbelievable angles. Look at this.
Very nice.
That is a fantastic shot, and that one is just extraordinary. Absolutely brilliant. And that's out, and that really means it's very, very tight at 2019. It's still match point, but this is a fantastic battle by the number 2s in the world. Yang and ZHANG fighting for their lives here, and they've come up with a couple of absolutely fantastic finishing shots. It's still match point to the pink team. Now they've got to kill. Yeah, that's it. Oh, big screams, big shouts, big punches, and well done. So the underdogs, the seeds 9th in this tournament, have beaten the 2nd seeds, and that's a little bit of an upset, but there's no doubt at all. 21-14, 21-19. And there you see ZHANG Wei 9 smash winners to 6. It's evens at the net, 23-17. Unforced errors, that was the difference. Yang and ZHANG dipped out right there. Well, they pick up the bronze medal, Yang and ZHANG, but ZHANG and Wei go through to the final.